We begin by doing something that we likely should have done years ago and honor Curt Flood. For over a decade, Flood played a brilliant center field for the Cardinals, but he should be remembered more about how he changed the game. We're going to let him tell the story.
I guess you really have to understand who that person, who that Curt Flood was. I'm a child of the 60s, a man of the 60s. During that period of time, this country was coming apart at the seams. We were in Southeast Asia. Good men were dying for America and for the Constitution in the southern part of the United States. We were marching for civil rights, and Dr. King had been assassinated, and we lost the Kennedys. And to think that merely because I was a professional baseball player, I could ignore what was going on outside the walls of Busch Stadium is truly hypocrisy. And now I find that all of those rights that these great Americans were dying for, I didn't have in my own profession.
In October of 1969, veteran center fielder Curt Flood of the St. Louis Cardinals got word that he was to be traded to Philadelphia. The Phillies were a second division team known for their hostility toward black players, and Flood did not wish to move his family or to leave his business interests behind.
I often wondered, what would I do if I were ever traded? Because it happened many, many times. It was, in quote, part of the game. And then suddenly it happened to me. I was leaving probably one of the greatest organizations in the world to, at that time, was probably the least liked. And by God, this is America. And I'm a human being. I'm not a piece of property. I'm not a consignment of goods.
Flood did not report to the Phillies training camp. "I am a man," he told baseball commissioner Bowie Kuhn.
Dear Mr. Kuhn, after 12 years in the major leagues, I do not feel that I am a piece of property to be bought and sold irrespective of my wishes. I believe that any system which produces that result violates my basic rights as a citizen and is inconsistent with the laws of the United States. It is my desire to play baseball in 1970, and I am capable of playing. I received a contract from the Philadelphia club, but I believe I have the right to consider offers from other clubs before making any decisions. I therefore request that you make known to all Major League clubs my feelings in this matter and advise them of my availability for the 1970 season. Sincerely, Curt Flood.
The commissioner refused to exempt him from the reserve clause. Flood refused to play and vowed to take his case all the way to the Supreme Court. The century-old struggle between the owners and the players was approaching a climax.
Curt did take his case to the Supreme Court and lost. It also realistically cost him the rest of his playing career. But it wasn't too long after that, other players challenged the reserve clause, it was called in those days. And players today are reaping the benefits with arbitration and free agency. Curt Flood changed baseball, and we are proud to honor his memory for that. And to receive the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame commendation, we welcome his daughter, Shelley.
Shelley, we know the history of your father. We've just seen much of it on video. What would you say, if you could tell this audience, he was most proud of, besides family?
Me. What was he most proud of? I think that my dad left this earth being proud that what he fought so diligently for had finally come to fruition. I think when he laid there in hospice, he kind of reflected on everything. Because what else would you do on that bed days from transitioning? And I guess a career such as his, he had to be proud that he was brave, that he had commitment, that he did things other people didn't do, and he was proud of all of us.
Surely. Some of us were fortunate to see him play in person. I personally happened to see 3 World Series games that he played in. A wonderfully graceful player. Do you think that goes unappreciated because of his stance, his historical stance?
Yeah, sure it does. But people such as all of you have indelible memory of my father, and you share it with each other, and most graciously you share it with me. I was 9 in 1970. I didn't see my father play at Busch Stadium. I saw my father play at Dodger Stadium. And I am not a Dodger fan. I go to Chavez Ravine in my Cardinal gear. I root for the Cardinals, and they're only coming this season in September. So I will definitely be in the stadium.
Now, many of us believe he should be in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I know you do too. Make that pitch for our audience tonight.
Okay. If Cooperstown is the venue that houses the history of baseball, it is incomplete without my father in its installation.
I don't think anything more needs to be said. Thank you, Shelley, and congratulations on your father's induction
It's been
into
my
the
pleasure.
St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.